former national security advisor, John Bolton. Ambassador Bolton, great to have you here tonight. I wonder what you make of Christie's response to those who have said, he should drop out, consolidate the number of Trump alternatives. He's basically saying thanks, but no thanks.
Well, I think it's a very powerful ad, and he makes an important point. To beat Donald Trump, you have to explain why Donald Trump is not capable of being president. And that's what he's trying to do, rather than the tactics of some of the other candidates still in the race. Look, this has gone back and forth. I certainly believed at one point that we should narrow the field to have one person against Trump. That obviously didn't go anywhere. It's now 3 weeks till the Iowa caucuses, 4 weeks to New Hampshire. I think the best way to prevail against Trump now on the Republican nomination is to diminish his vote, get it as low as possible, and show that he may have a plurality, but there's still a wide open possibility that somebody else could get to a majority. Look, if we had picked at the very beginning of the primary season the candidate most likely to win, it would have been Ron DeSantis. He's still in it, but his chances have diminished. So I think as long as we're at this point now, I'd rather see anybody who's still in, if they want to stay in, see what they can come up with. This momentum can change. There's no doubt about it.
So you're fine with Chris Christie staying in this race?
Yeah, I think he's made a point that is also important, that for Republican voters now who have to face the prospect of Trump getting the nomination, that people who don't think he's qualified, who really think he's not fit to be president, should be clear about it. And that includes, for example, what Christie has done, what DeSantis has done, which say unequivocally, I will not be Trump's vice presidential nominee. Now, every candidate says, oh, well, that's hypothetical because I'm going to win the nomination. Okay, so give the candidate their right to say that, but then say, in the unlikely case you don't get the nomination, would you be Trump's vice president? I'm sure Vivek Ramaswamy would say in a heartbeat, I'd like to know what the other candidates who haven't given their real opinion on the issue think. And I think Republican voters should hear it.
That seems to be a very clear message about Nikki Haley. I mean, she is someone who Chris Christie last week told a voter in New Hampshire, he would maybe consider supporting her if she would make it clear where she stood on Trump. And he said that essentially because she wouldn't answer questions like whether or not she'd accept a vice presidential role, that he couldn't at this moment. I mean, what do you make of her strategy in kind of talking about Trump when it comes to the deficit and other issues, but not taking him on directly on other fronts, on the most obvious fronts, his legal fronts, all of those issues?
Well, I think it's a strategy designed to get past the Republican nomination to get to the general election. But it also reminds me of what a Mitt Romney campaign official said during the 2012 election contest. Not Romney, who I don't think believed what his campaign official said, but this guy said, after the primary, it's like an Etch-a-Sketch. You can shake the thing up and then start all over again. And I think that's a mistake. I think people want consistency. They want a profile and courage. They want a candidate who says one thing to Republican voters and basically says the same thing to general election voters. That is a candidate of principle, and I think faced with Donald Trump, a man who has no principles, it would be a plus for a candidate to be very clear about where they stand.
Do you plan to endorse in the 2024 race? In the GOP primary?
Well, I haven't I haven't so far, and I'm not sure that I will at this point. Candidates that I would have preferred decided not to run, so it sort of left me at the starting gate. Well,
and you yourself had toyed with the idea of a run. I wonder what you made of it.
I was not including me.
Okay. I wonder what you made of have you ruled that out, by the way, sir?
I haven't, but look at the calendar.
Yeah, it is getting quite close. I do want to get your reaction to an image that Trump reposted. It was from this Daily Mail survey. They asked 1,000 likely voters what they thought, one word that came to mind when they thought of a potential second Trump term. Some of the words were power, revenge, but you can see clearly here dictatorship and dictator are quite large on that image. Why do you think Trump shared that?
I think because he believes that it will drive people crazy who don't like him. This is a way to show to the base that the people who hate him are the people the base hates as well. I think it is revelatory of his character. He cares about himself. getting revenge, not for wrongs done to his supporters, but wrongs done to Donald Trump, and he cares about the power of the presidency. In his mind, I think that's what it's all about. This has nothing to do with political philosophy or policies in Washington. As usual, it's all about Donald Trump.
Former National Security Advisor, Ambassador John Bolton, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.